What's up YouTube? It's Jason from Tattooed Car Culture. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down all the mods I've done on my bag, the 2016 Dodge Charger Scatpack. But first, let's get that cold start going on. All right guys, so the first thing that you'll notice is this thing is obviously on bags. It's bagged using Airlift Performance 3H digital management system. I really love the 3H system. The main difference is the 3P system, which most people run and which I ran for the first year, is basically just a pressure system which allows you to set your individual pressures and you just have to kind of guess at it. I had to use like a tape measure and measure from the ground up and find where the ride height I want it to be at, and then I'd set the pressure accordingly. So what's really cool about the 3H system is it takes the guesswork out for you. You basically set your ride height, and then if you have, for me, I daily drive this car, so if I put my family in it, the system will automatically compensate for how much weight is in the vehicle. The next question I get constantly is, what bags am I using? Well, I'm using universal air suspension. It's the bags over struts. So what's really cool about that is it allows you to use your factory suspension. More specifically, because it's bags over struts, it allowed me to retain my factory Bilstein shocks. If you have like a Hellcat, it'll allow you to retain your adaptive suspension. Scatpacks obviously just have standard Bilstein shocks, but nonetheless, I really love their system. I'm also running dual Via Air Stealth Black 444C compressor. I'm running that in the back, and I'll get to that when we get to the trunk. The next most aggressive thing on the vehicle, in my opinion, is basically the front end. I'm running a complete aero kit from K&G Wraps out of LA. Great guys, check him out. You can follow me on Instagram, and I have him tagged in my post, but essentially it's a custom, we went with custom canards, which they're readily available on his website now, but I was one of the first guys, in the Charger scene at least, to rock them. So I'm running his canards, front splitter, got the full aero package, so we have the rock guards front and back, running his side skirts all the way down, rear rock guards to his rear spats, and then I'm actually running some custom vent louvers that I had him design as a one-off piece for me. The diffuser is an aftermarket diffuser, so it's not K&G's, but either way, just he does a lot of cool custom stuff. Next is the badging on this car. I absolutely hated the factory badging. Specifically, the fender badges were a really ugly chrome Hemi. It just didn't work with the color scheme that I wanted to go with. So I'm going to take you through the badging. It was basically all debadged. From the grill, I had Nate at Rebadge Design make me a custom zombie scat pack just to kind of tie in the theme, and you'll understand when we go through the rest of the car. But I sent him some images as reference, and I sent him an image of the print I use for my hydrographics. So even the front grill badge is basically a high level attention to detail. So moving on to the rear of the vehicle, I hated the factory badging. So I went ahead and debadged the entire back end. It had the chrome Dodge emblems and then Charger and whatnot. So just completely debadged it, much cleaner look. I also went ahead and tinted the taillights in the rear. Well, I didn't. I actually had my buddy Martin. He goes by SP Mopar on Instagram, but he does a lot of work out of his garage, so he tinted the taillights for me. So thank you, Martin. Another piece on my car that is one of my favorite pieces, but it hardly ever gets picked up on pictures that I post on Instagram. But most people just see black stripes and they're like, oh, he's got Hellcat stripes. And that's true up to a point, but I went with a satin black Hellcat stripe, carried it all the way through the front cowl, because factory Hellcats, you have the cutout. So carried it all the way through. I just feel it's a much more aggressive look. But what I really love about it is, since I'm predominantly Irish, I had Celtic knotwork embossed into the actual stripes. You can kind of see it. And then carries all the way through to the roof. And then all the way down. So it's just a really cool touch. I really love it because, again, it's a lot more personal to me since I have a bunch of Celtic work tattooed on me anyways. Something I forgot to mention is one of the things I absolutely love about this car is it was professionally ceramic coated with using G Technique products. It basically just gives it a lot higher gloss shine and provides extended paint protection. So the car is completely ceramic coated, wheels and everything. And then, as you can see, it's kind of hard in the daylight. I do have custom DRL headlights. These aren't some run-of-the-mill, you know, just basic static colors. They have over 200 different animations, and I want to say it's something in the millions of static colors. You can basically choose any of the normal, you know, red, green, blue, and then fine tune it to whatever color you want. It's not that new. A lot of companies are doing that, but I just love the fact that I have this many different animations, and I can, right now I just have it through demo mode just to give you guys a visual on what it can do. But any of these designs or animations that you see and in those colors, I can lock it into that mode and then just have it on that specific animation. I'll do another video on that completely separate. As far as my brakes are concerned, they're the factory 4-piston Brembos. However, they've been hydro dipped with a custom zombie print. So pretty sick. I'm running aftermarket sequence drilled and slotted rotors. They're also zinc coated. So on to wheels and tires. So wheels, I'm running Stance wheels. They're the SF03. They're a rotary flow forged wheel. They're 20 by 10s up front and 20 by 11s in the rear. For tires, I am running the Turo AZ 850s, which I absolutely love. I'll do another video on that later. But as far as tire size is concerned, 275 40s up front, 315 35s in the rear. There's a lot of schools of thought on this. I think the ideal tire size for our Chargers would be like a 305, but specifically for my taste and in my own opinion, I wanted to be able to tuck the widest tire that I could in the back. I'm not really concerned too much about rubbing. It rubs a little on the inner fender well, which wears a slight hole in it. I'll do a whole nother video on that later, but it only does damage in the sense that it's damaging the plastic inner fender liner, and if you were ever to sell the car or you needed to trade it in or whatever, you can always get that replaced. So for me, I wanted to fit the widest tire. So yeah, so 275 40s up front. And 315 35s in the rear. A lot of guys run 22s, and I love the look of 22s on Chargers. However, 20s just give you a little bit more sidewall, and so for me, since I daily drive the car, having my whole family in it, I wanted a little bit more sidewall when I'm going over potholes and things like that. I mean, it is California and the streets do suck, so I wanted to just give myself a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle room, I should say. But don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater of 22s. I love the look of 22s. Just for my personal style, since I daily drive the car, I would recommend running a 20-inch wheel. So let's go ahead and go into the trunk. So this is one of my favorite aspects of my build. Sal over at Aero Equipment here in Redlands did an awesome job. He really brought my vision to life. I basically brought him the zombie head and all the material. I basically just told him, hey, like, I really want it to look like a coffin, but not like super cheesy or campy. And the outcome is nothing short of amazing. So we basically went with a plexiglass cutout coffin, as you can see. That way it really just draws your attention into the zombie head. I'm using a 5-gallon seamless tank, again hydro dipped in the same zombie print that is carried throughout the rest of my vehicle. Went with a Rockford Fosgate P3 sub, with behind that is a 1200 watt Rockford Fosgate amp. I listen to a lot of metal, so you know, a single 12 is more than enough to suit my needs. But again, going back to that attention to detail, so you have all the zombie print, and then it matches the stickers. So going into interior, I have the factory option, the black leather with red Alcantara suede with the factory Scatpack stitching in it. Love this. Call it the Bloody Guts. Full custom carbon fiber steering wheel from Beath Performance Parts, all hand shaped. Custom carbon fiber paddles. I can't even talk. Custom badging from Nate over at Rebadge Design. Again, he's the same one who did my grill badging. Dash has been hydro dipped red carbon fiber just to give it a little bit of accents along down with the center console. I decided not to go full carbon fiber everywhere else because in this case I think like less is more with this particular vehicle, just because there's so much red throughout. So for me, you know, I chose not to carbon fiber everything. And then another cool piece, this is probably one of my favorites. Went with aftermarket diamond stitch floor mats. You see them in a lot of vehicles now, but I just think it adds a next level to your interior. So I went with the red stitching. Got my son's car seat in the back. Daily driving dad life, what can I say? And then moving on to the engine bay. So again, all custom zombie hydrographics throughout. Had the tank powder coated white just to keep the whole theme going on. Using a Petty's Garage strut brace just to help stiffen the car in corners. I do actually a lot of canyon driving throughout Southern California. I just love taking this car for a drive, and yes, even though it's a boat, it can still handle the canyons. So So what you'll also see is some Billet Technology engine dress-up kit pieces. Some guys will go super overboard and basically everything that they sell, they'll go ahead and get and they'll put it all over their engine bay. For me, I really wanted to make sure that the focal point was obviously the hydrographics and just wanted to keep a very simple, clean look. So I only used a few of their pieces throughout, but definitely highly recommend oil catch can. Even if you don't go with Billet Technologies, it's a must for all of our Hemi engines. I'll do a video on that later on down the road, but it's a crucial piece of equipment to have, and it's relatively inexpensive. Additional details in the engine bay is the car's been professionally tuned, as well as the transmission has been tuned. My Charger is also running JBA long tube headers. They're titanium ceramic coated. Then I have a full custom exhaust. I am still running cats. I'm running high flow cats, but then I'm running a full custom 3-inch X pipe all the way back out to 5-inch tips. So again, the exhaust notes on this is just perfect. I mean, it's basically like a straight pipe. Yes, I'm still running high flow cats, but essentially with long tube headers, 3-inch piping all the way back. Yeah, it's got an X pipe in it, but other than that, it's pretty much straight piped, and I love the exhaust notes on this car. And with that pretty much wraps up this video. So appreciate you guys sticking around and checking out all the mods I've done to my bagged Dodge Charger Scatpack. If you like this content, or you just like Mopar content or car content in general, appreciate if you guys would hit that like button and consider subscribing. I have weekly Mopar content. There's a lot more to come. I'm definitely not finished with the build yet. This is just in its current stage. So again, appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.